Hey guys, Coach Logan here again. I've really been enjoying these Blitz videos, so I'm going to do another one. Try to get back to a normal lesson shortly, but in the meantime, let's see if I can find an opponent. Alright, EBMC2, rated 2346. Alright, strong opponent. Let's go knight f6 here. What is he going to play? C? No, he's playing okay, bishop g5. Alright, so now I play h6. He's got to take my knight, otherwise he hangs the e4 pawn. Okay, a3. It's kind of an unusual move. I'm going to fianchetto this bishop. Get castled. Alright, oh, queen e7. So this line, it's interesting. White gives up his bishop pair, but he does have more space. And the space is annoying. Or playing against the space advantage, I should say, is a little bit annoying. But at the same time, I think I said this in my bishop pair video, but in one of my Caro-Kann videos, actually, that there's a tendency for chess positions to open up in the long run. It's sort of like chess gravity. So if I can get this, if I can just stay solid and then open up the position, I think it should be good for me. Okay, let's go. I'm just going to play a6 to control the b5 square, which was annoying me in certain lines. I want to go b6 and bishop b7, just get both my bishops out. Okay, now that he's castled kingside, I feel safer castling kingside. I was worried he was going to go queenside and then I'd be in danger on the kingside, but he's committed there, so I feel safer in my commitment. Okay. I'm going to take. Let's play knight c5. Go pawn to b5. I really want to activate this light squared bishop. It's doing nothing on c8, just staring at the e6 pawn. I think I need a good diagonal for it. Alright, we'll take that. Sometimes playing against two knights here can be tricky. Like he does have the c5 square coming, but my light squared bishop is quite good in this position. Alright, let's get my rook active. Let's play bishop d5, maybe c6 just to close down the c file. Alright, now the only problem is my dark square bishop is not too impressive, but I think we'll just have to play around that for the time being. Oh, I'm tempted to, okay, let's first take there. Now I'm really tempted to give the exchange. I think I'm going to give this exchange. I get a pawn for it, he's got some weak pawns here, and I've opened up my dark squared bishop, so I think it's worth it. Maybe this will make me look silly, but I think I'm okay with that exchange sack there. Threatening b4. If his queen strays too far, I can take... Okay, I don't want to take this yet because he takes and then he's hitting c6. Let's go queen f4. Threatening his d4 pawn. Okay, that was a good move. Play queen f5, threatening his rook on b1. Go rook a2, threatening to take on d2 and then take on b1. Okay, he missed a tactic. That's always nice for me. All right. Here I'm threatening d4. Okay, go queen g1 check. Alright, he resigned. Alright, that was an interesting game. Let's just take a look at the analysis on this. Analyze. Alright, I'll have to go through this array of pop-ups. I'll click that out. just wait for it to finish. Switch it to self-analysis, show lines. Okay. So, so basically here, once we got out of theory, no, okay, went back. Once we got out of theory, got a position kind of like this, pretty typical for this line. But yeah, as I mentioned, white has played, by playing bishop takes f6, white gave up the bishop pair, but he made me waste a lot of time with my queen, and he's used that time to grab more space in the center. If white could hold that space and just kind of develop around it and then subsequently develop an attack on one of the sides of the board, he's just going to be better. But like I said, positions tend to open up in chess. So yeah, we both were just developing. Oh, this was another point that I made, was I was worried that, like, let's say if instead of playing a6, let's say I just castle here, I was a little bit concerned about him bringing his king to the queen side, in which case he could make attacking chances on my king with stuff like h4 later. I know the computer's liking this for black, and maybe I was rushing this for white and what I just showed, but that was my general concern. Once he castled, I was much safer, I think, in castling kingside, because now it's harder for him to throw these kingside pawns since they're used to protect his king. Okay. Then we reached the next critical point I wanted to do was the exchange sack. So here I played rook d8, rook c1, bishop d5. One thing I'll point out is when he traded that light squared bishop off and then had all of these pawns on dark squares, right? Well, these ones don't matter so much, but the ones in the center on dark squares, that means his light squares are really weak. So I was able to just post up my bishop here, and especially after rook c5, I just played c6, and this is a really firm piece here that I'll have to contend with. And there's other like if he plays something like knight c3 to challenge me, I could play. Actually, I could just leave it there. But it's pointing out I could also play bishop takes f3, queen takes, and then the rook. Yeah, so this would be a problem if he did that. His bishop takes f3, and potentially rook takes d4, and now this bishop is starting to open up again, even if I end up losing my pawn on c6. But here he played. Yeah, so he went rook back to c3, a5, trying to open up this rook on the a file, and then he did knight d6, and I took, and here was where I made another critical decision, which is that this knight is very, very good, and right now my bishop over here is very, very bad, so I want to activate that bishop. I'm more concerned about that than material considerations. So probably the most prudent would have been to play bishop f8 and later try to take this knight, but I don't know. I thought the exchange sack looked good. I take, and now I've gotten a knight and a pawn for a rook, so it's not that much material I've sacrificed, but I've really, really opened up this bishop again, and this pawn is weak over here from the queen, so I think I have ample compensation, and I think the rest of the play bore that out, right? Rook c5, rook invades to attack on b4, queen f4, I play queen f5, he went knight to d2, and here he just missed a tactic. His knight's defending the rook, so I'm attacking the piece that's the guard. He played f3, and I was just able to remove the guard. And then this is just all over after this, right? Queen g1, and he resigned because his king is in trouble. He's also hanging on h2. He's going to be hanging possibly on d4. It's all over. All right, so that was an interesting game. See you guys next time.